Hi, everybody. Welcome to November. We made it into the fall. And so this month I'm trying something new. I'm trying a video newsletter. I'm wondering if it might be a little bit more engaging, if it's something that you might enjoy a little bit more to hear from me in the person. And so we are trying it out. So for this month, for November and this season, I wanted to remind us of the beautiful way that we reflect what's going on in nature, in our outer worlds and our inner worlds. All right, so as a reminder, we are literally made of nature. So it's not something that's out there, it's something that's in here. Everything we eat, everything we breathe, everything we drink comes from this planet. So we are that. We embody nature. So what's happening out there, outside of that window, is happening inside us. So by paying attention to those attributes, we can learn more about ourselves, and we can use it as a time to first off connect and to grow and to just get more curious and explore. So what's going on in season of November? So we know that the trees are starting to change, right? So they're starting to release the big release, right? They're releasing the trees, the deciduous trees are releasing leaves so that they can have enough energy to get them through winter. And on the other hand, we have squirrels who are gathering up nuts and seeds and things like that so that they can make it through the winter, right? So we kind of have this duality of energy happening at the same time. We have the big release that says, okay, I'm getting rid of these things. And then we have the big gather, where animals are saying, oh my gosh, I need to store up for winter. Let me pull this in, let me pull that out. So we look at ourselves and we can notice that duality for this season and ask ourselves, how does this relate to us in our inner world? What parts of us do we need to cache? That's what this gathering is. What parts of us do we need to cache and gather to get through this fall season, to get through the winter? Do we need more friends? Do we need more self-care activities? Do we need more community? Do we need more alone time? All right, and what things are we releasing, like the trees, so that we can have the energy to sustain us through winter? Because we will go through a personal winter as well. So we're preparing for that. So what things aren't serving you that we could get rid of so that we could have a little bit more energy for the winter months? Maybe it's those over responsibilities, the loose boundaries around things that really nourish us, and whatever else comes up for you. So for that journal question, that prompt that I would ask you, it would be, how does the rhythm of autumn reflect my inner world? How does a rhythm of autumn reflect my inner world? So another thing that's happening in nature is that the things that are releasing seeds are releasing them now. Why? Right? It's about to get cold, it's about to get rainy. Why are plants releasing their seeds now? Some of them. And the idea is that some seeds need to go through winter. So the benefits of releasing those seeds now is that there's less weeds to compete with, there's more water, and also what's fascinating about these seeds that get released in fall is that they need kind of the brutality of winter to be able to spring out in the spring. They need that battering of the cold weather, the gnarling cold. They need that suffering to become the lotus flower. They need that suffering to become the lotus flower. Okay, so as for us, right, we can start thinking about, what dreams am I nurturing beneath the surface? What dreams am I nurturing beneath the surface that I might want to come out in spring, and start to think about putting those out there? And the duality here is that we don't get to just have seeds and just have spring. That's not how life works. We usually need to go through a winter to have a blossom. So if you're at a point where you're feeling that suffering, and that heaviness and that lethargy, it can be helpful to remember that it is a part of the cycle. You are not the only one. This is not should not be happening to you, right? This is not a victim game. This isn't a personal attack. It's just the way that life is, right? So how can we embrace that and feel like, okay, that's part of it. I know that spring will come. And what can I plant now to play into that? And then the other part is that how do we trust, right? You're like, oh, is it really going to happen in spring? You know, people after the first frost, some of the beautiful winter flowers can go on the ground, like tulips, right? Those come up in spring, daffodils, right? And those come up in spring. How do they know that they're going to make it through winter and come up, right? Where is the faith in that process? It's been like that in nature since the beginning of time. We've seen it. Um, so, as a journal prompt, how can I trust the unseen progress of growth, the unseen process of growth during a dormant time? How can I trust that, right? What do we need to tell ourselves to know that we're going to get to the other side of spring, that we can take that leap and plant those seeds and know that it's going to make it through? So those are a few things that's happening in the fall season. You know, we are gearing up, releasing duality, cashing in the different themes, dormancy, anticipating a spring bloom. Those things are all happening right now. And so take a look around you, right? And see where you can notice that the things that are happening in nature are also happening in you. And to wrap this up, I want to talk a little bit about the moon rituals. So I'm still doing moon rituals online. We have a couple in November. One is the full moon, that's on November the 6th. We do that at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Central time, and so forth. And then we also have the new moon on November the 20th. And we do those in the morning. So that's at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central. And we do this a little bit differently because the full moon, you know, comes up at night. The new moon actually rises in the morning. And that's why it's new. By new, I mean dark. It doesn't reflect the sun, because it's coming up at the same time. So it stays dark. So we do those in the morning so we can kind of get in tune. And the reason we do these moon rituals or moon circles is so we can get in tune with the rhythm of what's going on around us. And the moon is just a really clear and easy thing to follow because it goes through these same cycles every month. So that's why we do that. They carry a little bit different energy. They're online. You can register at my website, martinagalvan.com. They're $13, and so feel free to join in and register there. And lastly, I'll be gearing up for our winter book club. So I do a wild women's book club in the winter. And the idea is that, you know, I like to gather in community over the winter to do these things. And we get to read together, we get to grow together, we get to come together. We do that every other week. So it's a bi-weekly commitment. And I'll look through the literature to choose that book this month. And so I will put that information out by the end of the month. And that will start after the new year and lead us up into the spring. So if you're interested in that, it's a free offering. It's something that I like to offer the community. It is participatory, so everyone kind of has a role that shows up for the book club, and it's just something that we can do together. And so that will be on the horizon. Keep an eye out for that. And I hope you have a beautiful November. I plan on using this month to try and give back. You know, it's that season of Thanksgiving and receiving and being in community. So I'm trying to focus some time on like maybe doing some volunteer things around my community. I'm also trying to winterize my home, right? Putting up the big curtains and pulling out the heaters and finding more opportunities to be in community and play. So, you know, I just started attending a community band in the area to play my saxophone, and I'm looking at maybe some theater. So I'm keeping my eyes out of how I can, you know, take the summer activities I was doing and shift them into a more fall focus and more indoor things in a different way. So that is what I'm up to. I would love to hear what you're up to and also what you thought about the video newsletter. And so until then, I will see you next time. Take care. Mwah. Ciao, ciao.